This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Welcome to Psychology Show!
Morning, our fellow viewers. I'm Brain, your host, and welcome to the Psychology Show. We invited the family effectors from the Biological Foundation of Psychology. And now, let us welcome the family effectors, Mr. Muscles and Mrs. Endocrine Glands, and also their children. Good morning, Mr. Muscles and Mrs. Endocrine. How are you today?
Very good.
We're good. How about you, kids? So, Mr. and Mrs. Effectors, can you tell us what kind of relationship you have for each other? Mr. Muscle, would you like to answer the question?
Sure, so basically we've been together for a long time and we work well together. I can say that I can't live without her. I believe I existed because of her, and our relationship is as strong as your mind capabilities, Mr. Brain.
So it means to say that your relationship is very strong, huh?
Yes. Absolutely, Mr. Brain.
We gathered questions from our viewers which you have to answer. Question number 1. For you, Mrs. Glands, what characteristics of Mr. Muscle that made you fall in love with him?
First, he has these parts of him that I like. His striated muscle, smooth muscle, and of course his hard muscle, from which I fell for. And lastly, his characteristics are his contractility and extensibility. He sometimes becomes shorter and longer. His elasticity to expand and return to original shape. His tenacity, partially contract, and lastly, because of his irritability. He aggressively reacts to external stimuli, especially at night.
Thank you, Mrs. Glands. The information we got from you about Mr. Muscle is so interesting. So, question number 2. This question is for you, Mr. Muscle. What do you love about Mrs. Glands?
One thing I love about my wife is that she secretes something that makes me feel alive. These are the chemicals called hormones or autocoids, and their hormones do something to my growth, but they control the rates of certain bodily processes associated with maturation.
Thank you for your answers. That's so interesting to know about you guys. Our next is, we will introduce to you the family effectors' children. But before we introduce to you their children, let's take a break and stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome back to the show. Now is the introduction of the 8 effectors' children. They will introduce themselves and their role in the family. Let's begin with the eldest child, Pituitary.
Hi everyone, I'm Pituitary, or you can call me Hypophysis. My family call me the master gland because I control and activate the work of my mother, my mommy endocrine gland. I can be found in the center of the head. I secrete hormones concerned in growth and maintenance. My growth hormones control the rate of development in the bones, muscles, and internal organs, and that's my role.
Thank you, Pituitary. May we call on Thyroids to introduce himself.
Hello everyone, I am Thyroid, and I can be found in the trachea in the neck. I secrete thyroxine, which affect the metabolism and help control the rate of physical growth.
Thank you, Thyroid. Let's go to the next. It's Parathyroid.
Good day, everyone. I'm parathyroid. I secrete hormones called parathormone. These hormones regulates the level of calcium and phosphorus, chemical elements which are important in nerve activity. My hormone balance the calcium and phosphorus in the blood.
Thanks, Parathyroid. How about you, Adrenals?
Annyeong everyone, I'm Adrenals. I have 3 glands which can be found in the upper end of the kidneys. and one of these is adrenal medulla. It is directly controlled by the nervous system, and my medulla secretes adrenaline when individual is under emotional excitement. This adrenaline helps the individual adjust to emergency situations, and the other one is adrenal cortex. It secretes adrenal androgens or cortisol. This hormone regulates the development of the certain adult sexual characteristics.
Kamsahamnida adrenals. Next is gonad twins.
Hello everybody! We are the gonads. We are the sex glands that secrete hormones that influence physical development. I'm testes and I produce testicular and androgens.
And I am ovaries. I produce estrogen and progestin. Our hormones produce internal changes in the reproductive organs.
Sheshe gonad twins. May we call on Isles of Langerhans.
Konbanwa, I'm als of Langerhans. I have special cells that secrete insulin. I will be found in pancreas. My insulin is responsible for the control of blood sugar level, and it can affect how much sugar the brain, which is you, Mr. Brain, gets for fuel to carry out your function.
Hola, I'm pineal. I can be found between the two cerebral hemispheres of Mr. Brain. I help the thymus and atrophies at puberty.
Mutias gracious pineal body. Last but not the least, may we call thymus.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. I'm thymus, or known as the gland of childhood that keeps the child childish. I can be found within the chest cavity. I inhibit the glands and sexuality in the childhood years.
Salamat, thymus. Thank you, family effectors, for accepting our show's invitation, and thank you for introducing yourselves to me in the audience. We learned a lot from you, and it's a pleasure to have you here today. May you be in unity and help yourselves healthy for the benefits of all systems in the human body. Power! Stay tuned, everyone, because in the next episodes, we will tackle about nerve cells, the brain, and genetics.